Hi class, it's Megan Castles, your UMB 104 instructor. I hope that you're enjoying this first week of class. I wanted to make a video to briefly go over some information on your first upcoming assignments for this week. So the very first assignment that you're going to have this week is going to be the Navigating the Online GCU Library. I would encourage you to complete this first, and I also encourage you before you complete this worksheet to actually book a library webinar, which I posted a link to that in Module 1, DQ1, or you can actually view the library tutorial. This will be helpful. When you go through this worksheet, you're going to go through the steps on each one of the questions, and as you go through those steps, you're going to write the answer at the very end of each question. You go through and you do this for this particular worksheet, and this will help you to become familiar with the GCU library. Then you want to go ahead and move into the brainstorming worksheet. And this is the worksheet that I want to break down and go through step by step. So when you click on this here, it's going to pull up the instructions for the particular assignment. And if you click on this here, that's going to pull up the blank worksheet. You want to use this worksheet and you want to go through and type into the actual worksheet for submission. So you would type in your name here, and you'd go through and fill out the worksheet. I'm going to actually pull up a worksheet that I have already completed, and I'm going to go through each one of the steps so that way we can go through step by step on the worksheet together. So here's my example. So I would go through and I would type in my name, you would type in the course, the date for the class or the date that you complete the assignment, and my name as your instructor. So the first part of this worksheet, you want to go through and you're going to be selecting a topic. So make sure when you go through and you select the topic that you only select one question. So I'm going to show you on the worksheet, as you go through your worksheet, there's going to be subjects. So for example, military. You do not want to select military as your topic. You want to select one of the questions as your topic. So you would go through and you would actually highlight this. So I'm going to pull this up how you can highlight this. You go through right here, you can actually go through and you can click on the highlight button. And if that's the topic that I want, that's what I would do for that particular one. Now on the assignment that I did, I just went through and listed the topics instead of actually having them under the subject. So that way you can know you only want to select one particular topic and one question under the subject. So once you do that, you go ahead and highlight your selection. So I selected online learning. And once I do that, I'm going to move into part 2. And one thing that I do want to mention before I move into part 2 is this topic is going to be your same topic throughout all of class. So in this particular class, the assignments that you're going to do are going to build on one another. So you want to make sure that it's a topic that you are either passionate about or something that you do want to research, because eventually you're going to be writing a fact-based essay on this particular topic based off the research that you find. So back to part 2. So in part 2, you're going to want to make sure that you review the writing process media piece. You can do this if you go into the classroom, if you click on course materials or resources at the top and then course materials, the writing media process piece is going to be listed under the course materials. You will refer back to that writing process media piece multiple times throughout class. So for this particular part, you're going to be going through the inventing your ideas and especially the brainstorming part. So once you go through the media piece, you'll have an understanding of the different brainstorming methods that you can do. And you're going to actually want to go and complete brainstorming on the topic that you selected. So you're going to do 2 brainstorming methods. The first is already selected for you, which is journalistic questioning. As you can see in my example over here, I've put a little note about what you want to do for the brainstorming. So you actually want to complete the brainstorming on your particular topic. So I'm going to ask these questions about my topic. Who does this involve? So for online learning, I put adults with full-time jobs, families, or no access to a campus. What does it involve? The benefits of online learning, taking courses, when, and so on and so forth. So you go through and you'd actually answer this based on your topic. So if you were discussing deployment, then you would do this on deployment. Or if you were discussing social media, then you would do this on social media, and so on and so forth. Then you're going to come down to the brainstorming method number 2, and you're going to complete this based off of a method that you prefer. So once you watch the media piece, you're going to determine which other example works best for you. In this particular example, I had selected listing. So listing is another option that you can use, but there also are multiple others such as free writing, cubing, webbing and mapping, and so on and so forth. So take a look at that media piece and determine what's best for you. And then you're going to complete a second example on your topic here. So for my example, I wrote online education, bachelor's degree, master's degree, the internet, working adults, and I would just go through and list those options. Now, the reason why we're going through and brainstorming is to gather information to help us pull keywords for your library research. So that's where we go into part 3. And again, you can always take a look at my worksheet that I've attached that has the directions for this particular assignment. So you want to go through and you want to pull keywords from your brainstorming. So go back up to brainstorming, think about important keywords. Well, what do I think out of this that I've written down is going to help me find articles on my particular topic? So I went through and I pulled those keywords and I put some of them over here on the left-hand side. Then you also want to write down similar words. So for online, I had used web-based. For community, I had used public, and so on and so forth. And the reason why you want to do this is because when you go into the library, if I put in online, it may not retrieve articles on my topic that I'm looking for, but if I put in web-based, it may. So it's always good to have multiple options. Then you're going to come down into the Boolean search possibilities and you're going to actually put together keywords. So Boolean operators is going to be when you add the word and or. So pulling the keywords from above, I put web-based learning and flexibility. And make sure this is all in capitals. And I could also do web-based learning or flexibility. When I add this word here, it's going to retrieve articles in the library with the words web-based learning and flexibility. So it would include both words within the article. If I put or, it would be any articles that have web-based learning or perhaps articles that have flexibility. So that's why you go through and pull out these keywords to help you find information on your topic. So finally, you're going to come down to part 4 where you're actually going to gather resources. So make sure that you go into the GCU library. And when you're in the GCU library, you're going to start entering some of your keywords. So when you go into the library, you will be a little bit more familiar with it, considering that you've already done the Navigating the Online GCU Library worksheet, but you can continue to use any resources. So go back and refer back to that particular worksheet if you're stuck, or you can also use the librarian and ask questions there. You can book a webinar or go over the tutorial. But then once you're familiar with the library, you can go through and add in your keywords, and you're actually going to start searching for your particular articles for your paper later in class. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is that these articles may change as you progress throughout class, but this is just a starting point to become familiar with how to locate articles on your topic. So go through, add in some of those keywords that you've put. So either you can use the Boolean terms that you used or just one keyword, and locate articles on your topic. Once you do in the library, you're going to copy and paste your topic over here. So whichever topic you selected from part 1, the title of the resource. So once you pull up the article in the library, you're going to actually put the title right here that you found, the keywords that you entered to find that, and then the permalink. So the permalink is going to always be on the right-hand side of any resource. I'm actually going to pull it up and go through this with you right now. So if you go to the library and I go to find journal articles, and let's just say I put online and learning, And I want to make sure that I select the peer-reviewed box. So you want to make sure that you have peer-reviewed journal articles. This means that it's gone through a particular process in which experts in the field have gone through and reviewed the research to ensure that it is credible and reliable. So it's important to make sure that you check peer-reviewed. So go ahead and click on search. And once this retrieves the articles, let's just say if this was one that I wanted to use, I could go ahead and click on this. And on the right-hand side, there's going to be a few links over here that we're going to go over. So the permalink is right here. I would click on this for the permalink, and I would just do Control A to copy it. And then I would go back to the worksheet, and I would Control V, and I could paste it right here. So that way the permalink's here. Then the abstract, you're going to go ahead and take the abstract from the article. So you just pull back up the article from your library search, and it will pull back up for you the abstract from that particular article. So if I go back to this, the abstract's right here. So go ahead and I would just copy this. Again, you can do this either with your mouse with Control C, or you can copy it that way and paste it. Going back to the worksheet, you're going to have to also enter in the APA reference. So to have a good starting point with APA references, especially if this is something that you're not familiar with, you can go ahead and click on the Cite button on the right-hand side of the resource. Go ahead and click on this, and this is going to give you different formatting of references. In this particular class, you're going to use APA. So that's the American Psychological Association. That's going to be the formatting that you're going to use for majority of your program. So this is what you're going to want to copy and paste for your particular resource. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that this is a great starting point for your APA references, but at times the formatting can be slightly off. So for example, sometimes it may capitalize the entire last name when only the first initial should be capitalized. So you can always use this to start with your APA reference, but always compare it to either the APA 6th edition manual or this particular website is very beneficial. It's the Al Purdue website. It does pull up APA, so you can always go here to help you as well. So going back to your worksheet, you'll go through and you'll fill this out, and this is where you're going to put the APA reference. So go through, you're going to pull up 5 different articles. You're going to fill in the same thing throughout for this worksheet. And once you're done, go ahead and make sure that you do go up to File and then Save As and save it to a particular name. Once you have it saved, you're going to go ahead and attach it into the Dropbox for the brainstorming worksheet and submit it. Make sure that you do submit it before Sunday midnight Arizona time. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. I do encourage you to start working on this early on because research does take time. So make sure that you're taking a look at it and working on it early on in the week and asking questions if you get stuck. I'm here to help. I'm in office Monday through Thursday from 11 to 7 and Fridays 8 to 5. So give me a call or send me a message. I'm happy to help. Otherwise, let's make it a great week, and I look forward to working with you all.